Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but I think there's bad things coming. Today we're going to do a roundup of some credit card and points news. I'll put some timestamps down below, and big favor from you guys, give this a thumbs up to help with that algorithm. If you are new here, consider subscribing. The first story is that you can now request a redesigned Platinum card. This was first announced last year in 2021, and there's two different artists. The first one is Julie Miratu, who's one of the most renowned abstract artists today. The second one is Kehinde Wiley, who is a naturalistic portrait painter. Since this is a personal finance channel, let's talk some numbers for 2021. Miratu sold a piece for $6.5 million, and Wiley sold one for about $650,000. Let's take a look at the designs. Miratu mentioned that her focus was on expanding the imagination and possibility. Really subtle, but you'll notice that her art actually goes outside of the border. I think the idea being that she's coloring outside of the box. You can see that it's pretty intentional when you compare it to Wiley's, which is completely inside the box. There's flowers here, and the focus is on artistic inspiration. Let me know down below of these two, if you had to pick one, which one you would choose. You can request this new card by going into your account, going to account services, replace card, and then replace with a new design. Also leave a link down below if that's easier. Chat can also work, but you might need to go through a bunch of verification questions, and that can be pretty frustrating.
Let me count how many security questions I had to answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 security questions in order to order a new design for my Amex Platinum card.
So what are my thoughts about the designs? I'm really digging Wiley's. It really reminds me of Gucci because they also use a lot of floral designs. If you hate both of these designs, then you can just keep the card that you currently have. Hopefully they partner with other artists in the future and have more options. I would argue that even if you hate it, it might still make sense to request it. Firstly, because you're probably going to soft draw the card anyways. Most people don't actively use their Platinum card. It doesn't really make sense to bring around. And secondly, because it might become a collectible. In absolute worst case, change it back and you have a backup card. Reminder that the co-branded cards like Charles Schwab, Morgan Stanley, as well as Goldman Sachs do not have this option. One obvious complaint that I'm expecting in the comments and that I've seen before is, well, why are they doing this? Why don't they just decrease the annual fees or maybe add some other benefits that I would personally like? To an extent, I get that, but there's a ton of problems here. The first one is that lowering annual fees is going to open a giant can of worms. So right off the bat, I don't see that one happening. They probably are adding other benefits this year, but you might not like them. Number 3, the big one is that any cost associated with this is coming from the marketing budget, not from the retention team. So think about it this way. You're American Express, you have a pile of money that's allocated to marketing. How do you get more people to sign up for the card? A very easy way is to increase the intro bonus. They've done that pretty aggressively. Back in the day, the standard offer was 60,000 points, and now we even see offers up to 150K. They can't really just go out and make the multipliers different because that's more of a long-term product decision versus just marketing. My guess is that they're doing this in order to attract high-earning Gen Zs. Gen Z is focused on modern and urban art. Think artist collaborations, sneaker drops, and exclusive fashion or merch. Amex is checking off a lot of those things with this product. I'm 99% sure about this because all the Gen Z people I know talk in the same way. It's bonus season. Love the Sebby X Jung collab on Creator Capitalist. American Express is using the same exact language. Choose your Art X Platinum design. Platinum X Kehinde. Platinum X Julie. This is basically marketing language for Zoomers as well as younger millennials. My guess is that this is a test to see if they can acquire the high earners who don't care about travel. They've been very good about pulling the travel lever, especially with aspirational stuff, but there is a demo out there who makes a ton of money, but who just doesn't care. If you get a 15K sign-in bonus for your internship and you make about $100 an hour, so about $16,000 a month, and you get corporate housing, free breakfast, free lunch, and free flights, you might not really care about other things. If you don't have any expenses and you don't care about aspirational travel stuff, then I can see why credit cards might feel pointless. Would I sign up for the card solely for the design? No, because that doesn't make sense to me, but there is a demo out there. If you are interested in the Platinum, please make sure that it actually makes financial sense for you. We have a calculator on our site and it goes through all the benefits and perks, basically to make sure that you're not overvaluing credits. If you are new to American Express, I'd recommend checking Card Match to see if you have an elevated 150K offer. We have a blog post walking through how to do that as well. I'll put that down below. If you want to learn about cards, whether American Express or some other issuer, we have links on the site, AskSebby.com, and also down below in the description box. Huge way to support the channel, so thank you guys in advance. If you're someone in the hotel game, IHG has a very good promotion that we'll cover in a second, and also some pretty major changes to their program. To me, these changes are much needed because their program is pretty garbage. I'd say it's the worst of the bunch. We are pretty much waiting for everything still, but I'm hoping someone from their team watches this and read some of your comments down below for suggestions. All we know right now is that they're changing the name of some tiers and adding a new one. So we have Club, Silver, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond. Reminder that as of right now, you get Platinum status if you have the Chase IHG Premier card, so pretty good way to sneak in. We'll see what happens in the future though, but hopefully they make Platinum more interesting. Looking at Diamond right now, it seems pretty aggressive at 70 nights. It's 10 higher than what you need for Hilton Diamond and also Hyatt Globalist. It puts it pretty close to the 75 nights you need for Bonvoy Titanium, and even then, people who travel a ton will tell you that Bonvoy Titanium isn't really worth it. Bonvoy Platinum is pretty much the sweet spot. So what would I like to see from the program? Number one, better understanding about upgrades and how that all works because it's not guaranteed of IHG. Number two, a better understanding of other benefits such as either free breakfast, a food and beverage credit, and even late checkout. In the current iteration, the IHG program is great for people who spend a ton of money with them, like consultants, but not really good for redeeming your points. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone, but let me know what you think. This leads into the second part, which is also the deal part, and it's the fact that you can buy ambassador status, which is their top level status. You can join for just $200 or 40,000 points. So do I want to spend 70 nights in order to get that status and maybe get some benefits, or do I just buy it for $200? On a note of the promotion, if you join by March 31st, 2022, and you stay 2 nights at an Intercon, Kimpton, or region, by April 30th, you get 20,000 bonus points. You can think of Ambassador like what the IHG program should be. Guaranteed room upgrades, 4 p.m. late checkout, and you also get a weekend certificate at Kimpton's and other expensive hotels like Intercontinental. I'm a bit of a fine print Marty, so hopefully you guys don't mind, but be careful with the certificate. The fine print says that it only works on the second night, where the first night is a paid night. It's still good, but it's just a bit annoying because it's not really a free night. If you're someone who's signed up for Ambassador before, let me know your experience down below. The last topic is Bonvoy, and I think they just showed their hand. Maybe I'm reading too much into this, but I think there's some bad things coming. On February 28th of 2022, they're going to get rid of the hotel and flight packages. If you're someone like me who has a leftover one from before, then you're going to get refunded the number of nights times the maximum needed for that category. I have a 7-night category 6 package, so I get a 420,000 Bonvoy point refund. I still have the 110,000 Alaska miles from the flight part, meaning that I pretty much spent 90,000 Bonvoy for 110,000 Alaska. Amazing value. Even more amazing is that I don't need to deal with a certificate that expires, and I don't generally like spending 7 nights at one property. I want to review multiple places. All of this sounds amazing. Why are you getting freaked out? If you take a step back, you have to wonder why they're doing this. The first one is that by sunsetting this whole system, they don't have to deal with it, so less maintenance and just less costs. The second thing though, which is the bigger part, is that they no longer have to guarantee that you get 7 nights from that certificate for one of those categories. So even though they're refunding me all of these points, maybe in the future, I won't be able to redeem them for 7 nights. Maybe it's only 5 nights. Putting on our detective hat, February 28th coincides with when they want to implement their new system. Bonvoy is starting dynamic pricing in March, and they're moving to a full-on uncapped system in 2023. Something that costs 100,000 points right now might end up costing 200,000 points by the end of the year. Should we avoid Bonvoy entirely? I would say not really, because you might as well grab the points, take that vacation, and then you can deal with the card afterwards. Even if they nerf it, you're still getting a subsidized trip. I'll happily pay my rent with my credit card in order to hit an intro bonus to get a vacation out of it. My guess is that they're going to peg the Bonvoy points to dollar values. That would actually be great for domestic travelers and more economy travelers because it means that you're no longer paying crazy prices for domestic hotels. There's a ton of hotels that are $150 to $200 a night that want to charge you 60,000 points. In the future, maybe that's only 15,000 or 30,000 points. The reason I hate Bonvoy and Hilton for domestic travel is because their points are pretty garbage. On the flip side though, this is pretty terrible for YOLO and aspirational travelers. What we're looking for is outsized value, so how do we get something that costs a crazy amount of money but doesn't cost that many points? Looking at a place like Almaha, it can go up to $2,000 a night. Right now, that's only 100,000 points, meaning that you get 2 cents per point for that redemption. In the future, I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up being 200,000 points. If you're someone who likes aspirational travel or you're doing a honeymoon, this is the year to book with your Bonvoy points. Use them up because we don't know what the future looks like, and I think it's more likely to be bad rather than good. If you have not gotten Bonvoy cards, I consider getting the intro bonuses. That way you can use those points before they're maybe worth less. Pure speculation, and I hope I'm wrong. Again, if you want to learn about cards, we have links on the site, AskSebby.com, and also down below in the description box. My question for you guys is, what do you think will happen with the changes? Do you think they'll be good or bad? Let me know down below. Give this a thumbs up, share it with anyone else who might benefit. Otherwise, hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time.